Welcome back once again to the history class. Today I'm going to begin with the new chapter. So before I begin with the new chapter, I want you to answer these questions based on the chapter that we have done previously. That is the social and religious reformers in India. Go to page number 116, exercise E 1 and 3. Exercise F 1, A and C. Then I have given some other questions which are not in the textbook. Number 1. Who is known as the father of Indian Renaissance? What were the religious ideas propagated by him? Question 2. Who was Ramakrishna Paramahansa? What were his views on religion? Which means what he did tell about religion, God, etc. Third one, who founded the Arya Samaj? Mention the social evils that it was against. Okay? So please do answer these questions in your exercise book. It will be a revision for you, and as well as it will help you in the examination point of view. So now we begin with a new chapter today. That is the rise of Indian nationalism. Rise of Indian nationalism. Now, in this chapter, first and foremost, we will try to understand the meaning of nationalism, what nationalism means, and what were the causes or several factors that gave rise to this nationalism. And after that, we will be seeing one important topic, the rise or the birth of a body or an organization known as the Indian National Congress. Okay? So to begin with, before we move ahead with the chapter, the rise of Indian nationalism, let us have a brief background. We saw for the first time a movement or a rebel against the British East India Company. When was it? It was in the year 1857. Known as the Revolt of 1857 or the Sepoy Mutiny or the First War of Indian Independence. Now till 1857, what was happening? It was a company that was exploiting India. After the Revolt of 57, the result you know, the rule of East India Company came to an end. Now India was ruled by whom? The Queen of England. That means England was now ruling the country. So before 1857, India was exploited by a company. Now it has been being exploited by a nation. Now after the revolt of 1857, which mostly began in Bengal and spread in different places, but it was not very successful and it was crushed by the British East India Company. After the revolt of 1857, there were other several revolts. That means different communities and groups started revolting against the British East India Company, which has come to an end, against the Britishers. And to name one or two, the first one, important one, was the Cooker Revolution. The Cooker Revolution. Okay? This was a revolution which began in Punjab. Revolution which began in Punjab. And the revolution was carried on or led under the leadership of Guru Ram Singh. Under the leadership of Guru Ram Singh. Okay? The revolution in Punjab done by the Sikhs to be away or to get rid of the Britishers from the territory or from India. The next revolution or the rebel was the Santhal Revolution. Santhal Revolution which took place in Bihar. which took place in Bihar. And you already know the revolution started in Bengal. So there were plenty of revolution and many leaders were there. So they were fighting against each other, not each other, against the Britishers. They wanted to get rid of the Britishers. But they were working individually or in groups. Now, there was a need for an all-Indian organization. That means the unity of the entire nation to get rid of the British rule in India. Okay, so what they were looking at, what was necessary was an all-India movement under capable leaders who could join together or combine or bring each and every community together and fight against the Britishers in India. So therefore, we come across a new concept or a new idea that came into existence in India, which is known as nationalism. Nationalism. Now, nationalism to be defined is, you can define nationalism as what you call patriotic love for the country. That means you are ready to do anything for a country. It's a patriotic feeling that comes out of an individual, because all Indians, they share common culture, common history, and they are within the country. So nationalism can be defined as a patriotic feeling of love, loyalty towards one's country, that means towards a nation. Once again, what is nationalism? Nationalism can be defined as a patriotic feeling. Feeling, not only feeling, it's of love. For whom? For the country, and loyalty towards the country. Got it? Now, if you have understood that much, we will move ahead with what you call how this feeling came together, or what were the several factors that led or that made the people of India to have a common feeling, that is feeling of love, loyalty for the country, and they were ready to even sacrifice their lives to be free from the foreign rule and the exploitation and the evil, what you call malpractices introduced by the Britishers in India. Okay, now factors that led to the birth of nationalism, or factors that led or was responsible for the rise of Indian nationalism. The first one we can say is the revolt of 1857. The revolt of 1857 can be taken as the first factor or the cause for the rise of nationalism. That means feeling of loyalty, patriotic feeling of love, loyalty towards the country. And the revolt of 1557, as you know, could not what you call free India from the evil or from the foreign rule, but it did have some success. It got rid of the rule of the British East India Company. But now India is ruled by who? By England. Okay, so it was there. What happens? Once when the Indians fought against the Britishers and the ones who were not involved in the revolution, they saw it, they looked back and said, when they can do so much, when they can sacrifice their lives for the sake of the country to get freedom from the rule of the foreigners, so why not we? That feeling came amongst the other people in different parts of India. That itself is a rise of nationalism. And you know it, there were several martyrs in the revolt of 1857, such as Mangal Pandey. He became a patriot, for the Indians. Rani Lakshmi Bai, they became idols for the people. So the common people of India now started feeling, when they can do so much, when they did so much, why not we come together once again? Okay, why not we come together once again, get united in order to be free, or in order to get freedom from the rule of the Britishers in India. Okay, that is the first one, the revolt of 1857. Do you get it? The next cause we can see is Western education. Western education and new ideas. Western education and new ideas. You know, Western education was introduced in India by the British East India Company, and it had several effects as well as impacts on India. Okay, Western education was a blessing in disguise for the Indians. Why? Because of Western education, now people started gaining modern knowledge. Modern knowledge. Now, the spirit of rational thinking started developing. Rational thinking means thinking scientifically, finding causes, why, and so. Okay? Till then, before the 1857, before Western education was introduced, the lot of superstition feelings, superstitious ideas were what you call being practiced in the country. Now, because of the Western education, it acted as an eye-opener for most of the Indians. So, what happened? Western education opened the floodgates of modern knowledge based on scientific lines. Then it encouraged what? Rational thinking. And now people started to look at things rationally and started applying their modern knowledge. Got it? So, what happens? Ideas such as new ideas come into existence, such as humanism, nationalism, democracy. New ideas come into existence. The ideas such as humanism, nationalism, democracy, etc. comes into existence. How? When people started learning Western education, they not only learned the science, maths, etc. They also learned about the history of the different parts of the world. How people had united, the concept of coming together, the concept of democracy became what you call open to the people. They came to know about what democracy was, what is the meaning of humanism and all. Though there were very few new class was there. That means those few Indians who had received Western education. They were few in number. But what happened? Slowly, these few people became the torch. Okay? Became the torch. Or they became the ones who showed the path. They became the leaders to other people of India, and they were convinced about all these ideas. They knew about modern knowledge, rational thinking. They came to know about the concept of humanism, nationalism, democracy, etc. Then they started educating the other people. So that's what happens. The other people also now, they come to know that we belong to one nation, that is India. And it is my part, it is my duty to do certain things, something for the country. And that means nationalism. Okay? Now, Western education freed the minds of the people from the bondage of what we call superstition and those religious ideas, etc. And so, they came to know about freedom movements, how different countries, where the people in different countries had united in order to get rid of the foreign rulers, such as they started reading about the French Revolution, American War of Independence. These all influenced the people, and now they started uniting themselves. Okay? Nationalism itself means to unite together, to come together in order to drive away or get rid of the foreign rulers. Is that clear? We will see the last one for today. The third one, English language. had become an official language. Now, English as an official language has a great impact in the rise of the ideas of nationalism. First thing what happens, because of English language, it became a linked language. The language barrier broke down. Before, English was what they call spoken by the people. Different states have their own regional languages, and it was difficult for them to communicate with one another easily, to share the ideas, to share the feelings, to express the feelings. So difficult for the people. Now once English became a linked language, it played a very, very important role. It broke down the language barrier. Now people of the south could communicate easily with the people of the west, the north, and the vice versa. So this is what happens. Now they were able to communicate, share their feelings, their ideas, express their hatred towards the Britishers, and their hope, their aspiration that they also wanted to get rid of the Britishers. Now which is burnt in their mind. Now they were able to express because English had become a linked language. So the modern ideas of nationalism, what we call humanism, earlier it was confined to the cities only. Now because English became a communicable language, the main link of communication, the ideas spread down into villages, towns, etc. And the common people of villages, etc. also now got the feeling that I belong to one nation, India, and I have to do something for India, and I have to come together, unite myself to free India from the rulers or the foreign rulers. That itself is nationalism. What is nationalism? A patriotic feeling of love, loyalty towards one's own country. It was an idea that comes or that arises because everyone shares what you call common culture, common language, and common history. Okay, so this much for today. I will be explaining other factors in the next class. So stay safe, take care. Thank you.